Hi, everyone. This is Jessica Piro at Crisis Services, and I'm bringing you another edition of our behind the scenes at Crisis Services during the COVID-19 crisis. So I'm thrilled to have with me today Lindsay. Lindsay is one of our outreach counselors under our Emergency Mental Health Response Services Department. So hi, Lindsay. It's good to see you.
You too. Hi.
Thanks so much for spending some time with me today and kind of sharing your experience with the community about all that you guys are managing and helping the community during this time. So, a lot has changed over the last couple of months to adapt to how we're operating. So can you just share a little bit about how that's worked for you and your team as you guys have really have a blended model of remote staff, on-site staff, and what that's been looking like?
I have to say I'm so impressed with our team and how quickly we all adapted when it was necessary. I think we all understood the importance of maintaining our service and, still keeping the integrity of it even through all the changes with COVID. And the office staff have been amazing. I feel like they're kind of our anchor every day, like managing all the intakes and kind of just keeping an eye on all the teams. And definitely, we transitioned to the electronic whiteboard system, which has been awesome. I hope we keep it forever.
I think
um,
I'm already hearing that, so that's been awesome.
but yeah, just, I think we all just kind of accepted, the situation is what it is. And so let's make the best of it and keep serving clients. And, I think we're taking it day by day. And so far it's been really awesome.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, it's been really amazing to watch all of the different departments adapt, but also just for you guys too, with how you've operated. You are such a team department. You work as a large team. So to have you all spread out and then managing communication that way, and just the way you've done that so seamlessly during this crisis has been really awesome to watch. So thank you for your work and your colleagues' work for that, because you guys haven't missed a beat at all. So can you share a little bit about what types of cases you're seeing right now into the mobile outreach department? What are the things that you're seeing with either clients who have used the services before, or are we seeing some newer clients that are accessing services? What has that been looking like?
I definitely think that with clients that maybe have used services before, that maybe we're already familiar with, you've certainly seen an increase in clients that maybe have been doing really well and have been really stable and in their path to wellness. And then because of everything, how it's changed, and suddenly there's this lack of familiar supports, whether it's, professional supports, groups, counseling in person, to, family and friends that you're no longer maybe able to rely on in person. I think we're seeing those people, struggle a little bit and look for reassurance that there are still some services available, which I think we've tried so hard to let people know that we're still here, whether it's our outreach team or especially the crisis line, that's always going to be there 24/7 every day. Um, and then also with, newer clients who I've certainly been out on a few cases where you have someone who maybe has never had a history or, any challenges really, they would say, with mental health. But because of this, crazy new normal that we're all kind of in together, they're maybe struggling a little bit and looking for resources that maybe they've never had to access, and they don't really know even what's out there. So they're reaching out to us because, we're one of the services that's still been consistent. So it's definitely been interesting to see the spectrum of where everybody is.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting as we've evolved over the last really 8 weeks now, with the coronavirus, that the different emotional feelings you have. And some days, it's anger and frustration. And then some days it's just, overwhelmed. And then I think more recently, and I think even within the teams, we've been talking about this too, is this really isolation, like feeling of isolation, and just that disconnected feeling that really has settled in significantly, I think, over these past couple months for everybody. But knowing how that impacts those that we serve, I'm sure that's, causing even further anxiety and crisis for them. Is that something you're seeing more talked about, or kind of what has that been looking like when you look at isolation in our clients?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've heard it again and again with multiple clients that we've seen that they're feeling really alone. They're, they're tired of being cooped up and at home, and there's nowhere to go and there's no one to see. And, maybe they're older clients who were isolated to begin with, and now they can't even get out into the community to just be around people. And I think it's interesting too, because I think as counselors, we're always empathetic and, relating to our clients in whatever ways we can. But I think especially with the COVID situation, again, we really are all in this together. Some of those feelings and emotions that our clients are feeling, we're also dealing with, at home, off the clock on our own time.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that that's what's, I think, been a unique feeling, at least from my perspective, is, as a crisis center, we're here and we go and we respond to others' crisis, but we're still doing that. But now there's a joint crisis that we're all experiencing on top of that. So it is a
mhm.
balance of how do we care for ourselves to be able to care for others when we know that we have to keep in check with how we are emotionally feeling at this time. And so, it's been great to see the teams really connecting with each other and reaching out for support, as well, because it's difficult. It's a difficult way of working when you're used to working, especially the way that we operate here in a more team oriented operation.
Mhm.
So what are some, maybe some tips to help with that? So as you've been managing some cases, like what have been some tips that you've been giving people to kind of help with that feeling of isolation?
So, of course, we're encouraging people to, reach out in any way you can. Maybe right now it's not physically visiting somebody, but if you can call people, get online, use video chats. Zoom is so big right now for
Yeah.
everything. So definitely that. And I think just, I'm a huge proponent of kind of a gratitude approach. I think it's important to just every day try to find one or two things that you can be thankful for, and look for those small positives. And it could be something like, oh, I'm going to have my favorite coffee today. I think those small, senses of normalcy are really important for getting through this kind of period. And just take care of yourself. Don't feel guilty for doing what you need to do. And I think too, don't worry so much about comparing what your, isolation might look like against somebody else's. I think, we're all handling this differently, and I think just focusing on self-care right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know, I think early on, there was this kind of presentation of like, oh, I'm home and I can do all these different things. And I know I was talking with a colleague, and the way she said it, she's like, this isn't a productivity contest. We just got
Yeah.
to get through this. There's no contest here. We all want to just like take care of ourselves, take care of our families, and make sure that we stay healthy during this time. So it's important to remind ourselves not to put such pressure on
Mhm.
what everyone thinks they should be doing right now.
Yeah.
Really, it's about taking care of our physical and mental health as we manage through this crisis. So, any other messages that you'd like to share out to the community?
Just that, we're here, we've been here, and we'll continue to do what we need to do, especially, as the outreach team to keep accessing clients. And don't hesitate to call us because we're still up and running, and we'll get to you and make sure that we get you whatever support we can offer.
That's awesome. And thank you so much for everything you do every day and everything that you and your colleagues are doing, because you guys really are a critical safety net for that immediate crisis support during this time when a lot of other organizations who've really adapted to that telehealth model aren't able to do that level of care. So we are dependent on significantly, even more so than we usually are during this time. So thank you for everything you're doing every day. It's been good to talk with you and to see you. I know before we started, we were kind of chatting about it has been hard to have such a separation for such a long time for our organization. So we're hopeful as we kind of head into this next phase that we'll be able to get some sense of normalcy back here with folks returning at some point safely. But thanks again for sharing your message, for sharing Mobile Outreach's mission and purpose. They are there. We are here. Our staff are going 24/7. So if you need any help, please call us at 834-3131. And also our addiction hotline is 831-7007. So thanks again, Lindsay. It was so good to see you.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
You too.